What is up, ladies and gentlemen? How's it going? Don't worry, you're not missing anything special. This is just one of my random announcement videos just to let y'all know what's going on and what's next for, for the company, for the show, everything else that's going on. Sylvie, hello, how are you? This isn't going to be a very long video. Just going to make a couple announcements, let y'all know what's going on, and move on from there. So, as some of you know, yesterday was the second anniversary of the Bonkers Show, when Chris and I decided to give a big fat middle finger to some of our previous affiliations and say, you know what, we're going to go do our own thing. We don't like how things are happening here. I'm honestly kind of shocked we made it this far. And man, has the road been it's been extraordinary. Thank you. I'm just looking at the chat here as I'm talking. So I wanted to try to do something special because obviously that is a good milestone. Some of the other hosts we've had on the show mentioned that, their previous partners, they started to drip their own separate ways about 2 years into the gig. So the fact we're still holding strong and gaining as much ground as we have is astounding. We've had fallouts. We've had people get so upset they developed an obsession to try to talk shit. Some of them are still fucking doing it. Yeah, we know. We ain't stupid. We know. But nevertheless, that's what happens when you actually try to, go out and do something and make something of yourself in the world, You're going to attract some people that are just wondering, why can't I have that? Well, here's the thing. You can. You just got to get off your ass and do the work, not expect everybody else to do it for you. What motivated Bald and Bonkers, for those of you who don't know, Chris and I, like I mentioned, we had a bit of a falling out with some of our previous affiliations. There were some very serious criminal charges involved that we felt should have been brought to light, and we didn't exactly like how those supposedly left in charge were handling the situation, as well as trying to go eminent domain over us. You always hear these stories about creative differences when it comes to showbiz. I guess you can write it off as that. The idea behind the show and eventually the company that sprouted from it was to create a neutral ground for open discussions about things going on in the world, no matter how strange, nasty, terrible, or just outright weird they may seem. Yes, we have times where we bring on a serious topic, and there's some smartasses that think that, Bald and Bonkers, we're going to try to, spin it a certain way. But when you get into kind of supernatural topics, UFOs, ghosts, all that, you deal with just about every aspect of the human experience. And when I took the reins, because Chris started to realize just how much work actually goes into running something like this, he talks a lot of shit, but doesn't actually. I'm playing, Chris. I'm playing. Chill. Just in case he's actually awake and watching this. Anyway, I wanted to try to create sort of a distribution, networking sort of platform to allow people to actually connect with one another, to create. That's it. There's been several other different ventures I've been involved with in my life, and I'm still am to some capacity to this day. That see, girlfriend just ratted him out. Oh, dear Lord, dear Lord, dear Lord. See, you got to have some humor, especially with everything going on in the world right now. You got to have some humor. It's the one thing that helps us power through. It also helps break down the barriers. So, and there's been several times where we've had guests come on the show where they were worried that, maybe because of some of their life choices or, there's, things they get involved with that they were going to be crucified. And let's face it, crucify is probably not the best choice of word, but we'll run with it. And let's face it, there's been times where I've fired off because, people started trying to get judgmental with me. Yeah, thanks, Lawrence. Trust me, we got some good stuff coming that I'm eventually going to get to. But, back to what I was saying, there's been times where I fired off where people have judged how I've done things. And now I'll admit, there's been points where I said, you know what, you're right. I've been an asshole. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, I have a lot more respect for people that, actually are willing to say, hey, you're being kind of a dick. What's up? Instead of, talk behind my back. And that's been sort of the basis of how I wanted to run things. If shit's about to go down, just say it. If things are going to get rough, admit it. The quicker you're able to address that a problem could come up or has come up, the quicker you can come to a resolution. And that's an aspect that really defines what I want to try to do with everything that's come together. Some of you don't know, it's not just about shows. If you want to release a book, we can help you. We have a printing partner that just released some of their setup fees, so we can get you out there for free. Well, we'll just take a small portion of the royalties earned to, help keep company operations running. You'll keep about 80-90% of your royalties of books you publish through us. And the partner we actually run to can actually help you get your books out to over 40,000 different locations all over the world. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the major retailers, Unfortunately, it doesn't give you an actual list of what platforms decide to start selling your book, just roughly what countries they're in. There's been several times where I go to Google myself just to see where my stuff is getting out to, and then I realize, oh, I'm on eBay. And, that's the thing. Once you release that type of energy into the world, you're not going to know exactly how it's going to unfold. There's going to be people that dog on it. There's going to be people that actually absolutely try to tear the shit out of it. Then you get the genuine assholes who try to capitalize it for their own worth. What I'm trying to do is help eliminate some of the technical problems that intimidate a lot of people from avoiding pursuing these types of things. Because there's still this illusion that you have to have some sort of connections. I mean, I've had people accuse me of being involved in secret societies. When I did this, people, I was being a dumbass. Okay, that was a joke. It's kind of like Roseanne Barr said on an interview. She posted a picture online of her with a black eye, and everyone said that she's gone Satanist. Like, no, sometimes people are just fucking clumsy. But in the end, that also emphasizes a point that really needs to be pushed when it comes to this type of field. For a field that seems to be about trying to understand the truth, find out what's actually going on, we got a lot of people who seem to think they know it all, don't we? I'm sorry, but the first sign of ignorance is the claim that you are all knowing. Something I used to say to piss off an ex-girlfriend who thought she knew my entire story because she read one of my books. But as I've gone through life, I've started to realize it's a little bit more true than I thought. But in the end, being able to tell the story is the first step to addressing the issues and course correcting to a better life, better reality, better society, whatever terms you want to use for it. On the Saturday show, I did kind of open up a Q&A because I just barely realized that's an option for YouTube chats once you're monetized. I genuinely didn't know. But Dots, one of our members, Dots, actually posted a question that we didn't exactly get to, and I feel it really goes into what we're trying to do here. Dots writes, after this shitstorm is over and we are rebuilding, what is on the to-do list? Positive ways forward? I think this is important. It very well is. It very well is. Now, granted, knowing the circles that Dots and I know Lawrence comes out of as well, and Emerald Isle, I know she's starting to poke her head into those circles as well. We're talking about global disclosure. When human society is starting to integrate itself into galactic civilization. What's going to happen next? I don't know. By all accounts, my situation alone is a weird one. It should, it's been interesting to see, and get to talk to several people who have been trying to research and study this stuff for longer than I've been on this planet. Look at me and say, Dakota, you're kind of weird. But there is somewhat of a plan. Now, obviously, like I said before, there's been some of our guests who try to say that, 2 years on, you might start to notice things drifting apart. And you know what? If it happens, it happens. You just got to roll with the punches. Life changes. Chris has his things that are going on. I got my things, which include likely helping take care of my new niece that's coming this December, or that's at least the posted due date. My sister was born a month early, so we're highly anticipating her baby's going to be coming early as well. Hopefully the only complications come from the fact that we tend to have big babies in my family. So, knock on wood, But there's also something else that has been in the work for a few months now, sort of in the beta test stages, if you will, that I know some of you have shown some interest in, and that is the new streaming service that Bald and Bonkers is putting together. We already have one up and running on our website, BonkersTV. You can go on our website, you can see it for yourself. Hell, if you're interested in getting your content syndicated through it, let me know. We'll be more than happy to make that happen. This one's going to be a lot easier to work with. Thanks, Sybil. I have a feeling that the baby that's on the way is probably going to need her weird Uncle Coda. She's already visited, and let's just say my sister was kind of pissed when she had to admit that I was right about the gender of the baby. Oh, dear Lord, dear Lord. but it's all good. It's all good. So, back to what I was saying. Bonkers TV. We do have a linear streaming platform that creates a 24/7 playlist called it's called Bonkers TV. Links right there in the chat or on the screen if you're watching this through a platform that doesn't see the chat. But we also have an on-demand service coming together called Bonkers TV Plus. Like I said, it is actually in the early, sort of beta stages. We are trying to raise funds through Indiegogo to get what we need in order to make things happen. So, okay, why don't I actually bring that one up? The idea behind Bonkers TV Plus is going to create a spot where we're going to have exclusive content as well as, let people syndicate their YouTube channels if we're able to. I'm told that's supposed to be a function of this, but we'll see how it goes later on in the development. So I'm actually going to bring up the page here. If you decide to try to help us out, we have some perks available for your support. We're going to release a big thank you video once everything is a little bit more in line. And that'll help you. We're going to let everybody who contributes to that go on to, get listed on our IMDb, get a little Hollywood exposure. Plus, once you select your perk, you can also select add-ons to get exclusive merch. See, this is what it looks like. We're going to go here. It just barely started. With this platform, it will be property of Bald and Bonkers, not anyone else. So that means we'll be able to post whatever we want, unrestricted, and extend that help out to content creators as well. We are working on getting some sort of funding source put together for those who contribute. Because I want to make sure, let's face it, inflation's killing us all right now. So that doesn't look good. All right, that looks a little better. Inflation's killing us all right now. Let's face it. And having a little extra income here and there would probably help us all out. So, Bonkers TV. Right now, it's free to access. Anybody can get on there. No special passwords, any of that. It's going to be free, but we are likely going to work on getting some sort of ads placed in so that way we can generate income and help give people who contribute some kind of compensation for their time. It probably, at least out the gate, it probably will not be something that can replace your day job. So don't quit your day jobs quite yet. You're just saying, yes, they say either give it at all or do it. There's some people that say, give it your all, give it your full attention, but focus on what's best for your situation. This could be a good way for you to earn a little extra here and there, but don't, make yourself go broke. As far as censorship, obviously there's going to be some sort of content rating system in place so people are aware what's up. But the idea we're going to try to enforce is allowing everyone to share their side of things. Because, Sybil's right. the censorship is getting kind of crazy. To some extent, I understand, keeping kids from exposing themselves to pedophiles. You know, and maybe some of this Hamas videos that are getting spread around because people are getting obsessed over the violent deaths going on with the Israel conflict right now. You know, to an extent, I understand shutting that stuff down. You don't need to advocate for that type of stuff. Yes, we need to acknowledge that some very serious matters are coming to light, but unfortunately, there comes a point where seeing that type of stuff in the media may actually influence others to commit similar actions. I know, free speech, but that's why I'm getting back to that. I'm getting back to that. I know I'm kind of going off the rails. It's not that hard for me to do. Trust me. We want people to be able to tell their side of things. One thing I see on the regular that is a bit of a red flag. Now, it's understandable if basically I'm seeing a form of censorship that's taking place just because people are trying to ask questions because they may still hold on to certain biases. And it's being misinterpreted as trying to be a dick. There's still a lot of people that are just trying to figure something out. And honestly, there's a lot who try to preach that, oh, this doesn't resonate with me, this doesn't resonate with me. There's a lot of people who use that as an excuse to cover their own biases. Say, oh, I don't like this person, so therefore their stuff doesn't resonate with me. Oh, I don't like it because it's a man saying this. That shit needs to stop. This dogma that's become of this, it is out of hand. Now, you want one of the ideas in order to try to help address this issue that's being put forward is some sort of debate show. We get two conflicting parties that don't necessarily agree on certain matters and actually get them to sit down and talk. Why is it this person thinks of this? Why is it this person believe this? Why does this person believe this? At the end of the day, how many conflicts could we potentially end if people just shut up, take a breath, and talk it out? You know? And there's probably going to be content on there that's going to say, oh, this stuff is compromised. From what I've seen, some of the people that are getting targeted, yes, there's people who've gone on and said, start trash talking, trying to say, oh, this person's actually dead, they've been replaced by an android and all that. That's out of line. We're not going to be able to figure out what's going on and move on in a better, more positive light unless we actually understand the stories. And that's what Bald and Bonkers is all about. That's what Bonkers TV Plus is going to be about. We do have a fuck. They're trying to shut me down. They're trying to just take me out. Sniper. Oh. The point is of all of this is to get a discussion going, to get people to actually explore things on their own. Experience life. That's what it's about. Experience life, understanding what each other is all about. And who knows? The things that we may be able to put together from all this, it'll be astounding. There's already a licensing partner lined up to help get content, but we're also going to allow independent content creators, filmmakers, podcast hosts, all that. We'll be able to post it all. We'll have an open way for them to submit their stuff as well. Bonkers TV Plus, in order to keep the ads down, we're going to at least go with a small subscription fee, about $1.99 a month. But as we grow, that may have to increase, once, because we want to try to expand it to as many different platforms as possible. Just like we do with the Bald and Bonkers Show. The main show goes out to like almost 30 different platforms and still growing. The potential's there. And plus, we're not just going to try to capitalize on it. We have stuff available for anybody to be able to try to build their own platform just like this. Play the system to where they get out there and they're not going to have to break the bank. So good things are coming. Like I said, do check out the Indiegogo campaign. Help out if you can. Share it out. Like I said, the costs of what that money is going to go to, finish setting it up, setting up the domains, and getting it running. Like I said, this platform will be our own. So that being the case, it's going to help keep costs down, make it to where it's more accessible for people. And if I can figure out a way to do it, those of you who either are members on our Patreon, are here on our YouTube channel, we'll find a way to get some sort of discount or free access for you guys as well. That's what's on the plan. Whether or not we're able to execute it, we'll see what happens. It's the 2020s. We don't know what the hell's going on no more. But in the same light, it's being proven that just about nothing's impossible. And you can play the system to where you can actually go out and make something big. That's about the only announcement on that. Let's see, what else was there? Now, as some of you know, I will be heading down to Orlando this weekend to attend JISIC. So if you happen to see me, say hi. I might be a little groggy because I'm used to sleeping throughout the day because of my civilian job, but I'll be there. We'll see what happens. I'm honestly eager. There is a slight chance, those of you who have been wanting updates on my little Starside adventures, you might get a pretty good update after this, because they said they might be in attendance. A lot of stuff's going on and they still have jobs to do. So, might have an interesting update after that. I do plan on basically getting security cameras up to try to record what's going on at night. See if I can catch when I'm disappearing. Our gadgets may not work when we're up there, but it don't mean anything about bugging it when down here. And when that all comes together, if we get any hits, I'll be sure to let you know. Like we mentioned on the show, there's new spots coming up. The main Bald and Bonkers show is not going to air, but I do believe Chris and Jenny are planning something for this weekend. They're more than happy to. Chris has got the keys. I question the judgment on that some days, but hey. And the new shows that are, make sure you dance with go at the disco. Oh God, that reminds me, I still need to head to like Spirit Halloween and grab an afro. And then again, it might be a little bit too hot for that. We'll see what happens, right? New show's going to be coming out soon. There is some updates in regards to my own case that I'm looking into. That if they pan out like I think they're going to pan out, I'm going to feel kind of stupid, but it is what it is. Let's see. There's going to be new books coming out very soon. For those of you who subscribe to the Patreon page, you'll have access to the Bald and Bonkers digital library. Plus, you'll be able to get download ebooks for about $1. If you're not on the top tier plan, I'll see if there's a way I can get it onto the YouTube membership so we can just slap it all together. But I'm also hesitant because YouTube's kind of sneaky when it comes to that stuff. But we'll figure it out as we go. Anyway, like I said, probably won't pop on this weekend. I might do a quick update live here and there, depending on how things go. But as I say, if you're really having fun at an event, you're not going to be wasting your time posting about it, saying how much fun you are having on social media. You're just going to fucking enjoy yourself, right? Anyway, I think that's all from me. And I really need to go start packing. Because I'm pretty much going to be, coming home from work, sleeping a couple hours, then having to drive about 2.5 hours to make it to the airport in order to fly out. So Thursday's going to be busy, but it'll be worth it. I figure worst case scenario, I get to visit a new place that I've never been to before and meet some new people, which is always a good thing, right? Anyway, much love. Stay safe, y'all. See you when I see you.